This week, on days of our Pirates, after being swept by the Braves in Atlanta and being swept by the Tigers at home beforehand, the Pirates have made a series of call-ups, including Canaan Smith-Njigba, the brother of Jackson Smith-Njigba. Him and Hoy Park, of all people, have been recalled from AAA Indianapolis, and I'm excited for Smith-Njigba, but not Hoy Park. And to make room, Travis Swaggerty and Aaron Fletcher have been optioned back to AAA. And there's a lot of things that I feel about this. Number one, Canaan Smith-Njigba. I'm really excited for him, and it's not just because of his last name. I really like his film. I really like the way he plays ball. I really think he's a great power hitter. I'm excited to see him play. But Hoy Park, right? Don't get me wrong, he's a Major League Baseball player, so it's not like the dude sucks at baseball, right? But overall, with the Pirates management, I'm very pleased with how they have paid their players that are up for contract, that are already young and are super talented already, like Brian Reynolds and Ke'Bryan Hayes. And I hope that continues on Bob Nunning's part. But it's Ben Cherington, right? I liked calling up Travis Swaggerty, but I must ask, there were two things you could have done with him. You could have slowly eased him into the system, meaning that you play him very little and then eventually give him more playing time. And that's clearly not what they did because he was just optioned back down to AAA. Or you could have already gave him decent playing time to begin with and then ease him into becoming the full-time starter at his respective position. And we did not do that. He barely played at all. And it really makes me wonder, are we going to ruin this guy's confidence, right? Because Swaggerty was our first round pick in the 2018 draft. I don't want to ruin his confidence because he goes up to the MLB, only gets to hit the ball a few times and fields just a little bit. And he was used kind of like Sean Rodriguez was whenever he came back for a period of time, and I believe the 2017 or 2018 season. And if you guys don't remember correctly, he was barely used at all at that point, right? Like, at Sean Rodriguez's last legs with the Pirates, he was barely used at all. That's how we used Travis Swaggerty, and the man was a first-round pick in 2018. We don't want to ruin his confidence, and I have faith that Swaggerty is a very great baseball player and that he'll get back to it when he gets called back up again. But if the Pirates mismanage players like these, it could ruin their confidence, and therefore it could cost them in their development, and that's not what we want. And second off is, don't get me wrong, like I said, this management is doing a better job than they have been in the past few years, and that's not saying anything because, in my opinion, they've been easily the worst in the league. And the only reason why I say that is because we're calling up some of our young talent, which is great, and we have secured players like Brian Reynolds and Ke'Bryan Hayes for the long term, especially Ke'Bryan Hayes. I mean, we signed him to an 8-year deal. But if we're going to be playing players like Yu Chang and Hoy Park, it's no disrespect to them. They're Major League Baseball players. But if we're going to be playing players like them, why aren't we playing Oneil Cruz and Mason Martin? I mean, come on. Oneil Cruz has a better OPS than any player on this Pirates roster right now. He is 6'7", and he launches 110-mile-an-hour exit velocity baseballs directly to the center fielder. And those are just singles, okay? This man got called up for 2 games last year, did amazing, was amazing in spring training, and has played at an amazing and immaculate level for the Indianapolis Indians, yet he's still down there. We're trying to manipulate his contract situation so we can still call him up and eventually have it so this year more than likely doesn't count as 1 year on his contract, which technically makes sense, but I just think that's so morally wrong, right? And Oneil Cruz isn't the answer to all of our problems, but he is a big piece to the puzzle. Whenever we're only getting 1 run per game and our pitching is giving up 3 runs, which is honestly the exact opposite of what I thought this year would be like. I thought we'd be pretty good in the hitting department, and our pitching would be the problem. And obviously, I know this is just a stretch of 8 games, so it's not a complete overlook and outlook of this team. But we need to score runs that don't just involve one singular solo home run by a player like Jack Suwinski, right? That's not how you win baseball games, okay? And I still love the youth movement that we have going on, but we are playing losing baseball. And I feel like a big issue with that, a big reason why, is because it's a systemic issue, right? The Pirates, even whenever they had talent, and even, like, yes, they've had a lack of talent the past few years, and that's definitely why they haven't been great at all. But that still doesn't make up for the inconsistency that has been with this team for 20-plus years. Even when we had great rosters and would barely miss the playoffs, like in 2016, 2017, for example, we would go on winning streaks and follow it up with incredible losing streaks. I remember when we lost like 24 out of 27 games after the All-Star break one season, right? And as far as I'm concerned, when you see that stuff over and over again, you could have all the talent in the world, but it becomes a pattern, and it's a pattern with the same organization. We need to get rid of these systemic issues that we have. And one of them is always following up spurts of incredible momentum with immense and painful losing streaks. And then, not only that, but it's just the fact that we never seem to be able to keep up with what we're doing. And what I mean by that is one game, we're going to score 5 runs, and we're going to find a creative way to lose, and we're going to give up 7 the next game. 7 for the rest of the game and not score a single run. When a team finds ways to lose, it's even whenever their roster is much better than it has been in years past, like it is this year, it shows systemic issues, right? Like, this team is going to be very great in probably like 3 years, maybe even 2 years. I genuinely feel that way because of all the young talent we have coming up. But I don't want for some of those players to be mismanaged. Not a single one of them can be mismanaged and have their confidence ruined like we just risked with Travis Swaggerty. And we need to stop making trades like for Yu-Chain. No shot to him, but Yu-Chain's, I don't know why we needed him, and I don't know why this team will ever need him in the next few years. Genuinely. He's just a placeholder. But for what? Players like Oneil Cruz are better than him. And yeah, they may not play the same position, but that's just an example, right? We have players who are younger and are definitively better than players like Yu-Chain, Hoy Park, other players like that, but they're sitting down in the minor leagues, right? And I understand why a player like Henry Davis is. I get it. He was drafted last year, right? I don't expect for him to be called up this year. But players like Oneil Cruz and Mason Martin, if you're going to lose, at least lose with your best team out there. And the Pirates are not displaying their best team out there. And I feel like as an organization, even though you can have some sort of contract manipulation with Oneil Cruz, he should have started day 1 of this season. And it's better late than never, but I expect to hear his name called up very soon. I really want to hear his name called up. And I've been furious about this all season, even when we've been winning. Right? And I understand that the type of momentum that we had by sweeping the Dodgers and taking 2 out of 3 against the Diamondbacks isn't long-term sustainable success with a team that has a bunch of rookies on it. But with that being said, we saw their potential already in their rookie years as a team this year. And we go out there and lose 8 in a row, that's still not okay and not acceptable. I get we're going to go on losing streaks, but when it gets to 8, that is a massive issue, especially when you see the talent and the potential that this team already has shown this year when they've played teams like the Dodgers. So let me know what you all think below. I'm really excited for Smith-Njigba, and I've heard that Jason DeLay should get called up pretty soon as well. He's a catcher, and maybe who knows, maybe we'll have that Chris Stewart and Francisco Cervelli type thing with him and Henry Davis, because, I mean, really, like, who knows? But overall, like I said, I'm still excited to be a Pirates fan at this moment because there's more hope and optimism than usual despite the losing streak. But the losing streaks are becoming systemic issues, and this team is going to be great within the next few years, but I want to see them make it far and win championships. And I feel like with the way some of these players are being managed and with the systemic issues that you see with this team, I feel like they might be holding us back. We might be holding ourselves back, and that is the worst thing in the world. It needs to change whenever this team starts to become truly a good team and not just a promising team that right now is playing like absolute crap. But just like the Pirates, giving fans hope of maybe potentially being in the playoff race going into August and September. But now doing this, so are the days of our Pirates.